We're gonna have fun tonight. Good, old-fashioned, all-American fun.
From going all berserk to messing with her own dog, Meg's been up to some seriously messed up stuff in this show. So let's check out the 10 worst things she has done. Number 10. She harbored a fugitive.
Hi, Meg.
Hi, Luke.
Let's get real. With the almost non-existent and frankly terrible attention Meg gets from her own family, it was a given she'd be on the lookout for affection and love elsewhere. And guess what? She actually found it. But it just happened to be in a rather tricky place.
Meg's involved with a convict.
Wow, Meg's like one of those crazy chicks who hooks up with an even crazier guy.
Come on, falling for an inmate isn't the most outlandish thing our dear Meg's ever done. The real kicker came next, when Luke made a cinematic prison break and headed straight for her own crib.
Don't run downhill!
You're going to jail, punk!
Maybe she didn't realize it back then, but she was basically an accomplice in his escape. After an action-packed run for the hills, our poor Meg ended up on the wrong side of the law. Unquestionably one of the wildest, or maybe just plain silly things Meg's ever pulled.
You're under arrest for harboring an escaped convict.
Oh, well, that's only fair because after all, I did hide him from the— What?
Number 9. She blackmailed Chris.
Well, well, well. Who do we have here?
It's me, Chris. You know me. Why are you talking like a bad guy?
Who could ever forget the time Meg decided to pull a fast one on her bro Chris? It all started when she caught him pocketing some of their parents' cash. And like the sly mastermind she can be, she decided to use that juicy tidbit to keep Chris dancing to her tune.
I won't tell Mom and Dad about the money if you promise to do whatever I say.
Meg, this is how a lot of porn starts.
But as usual, Meg let her wicked side take the wheel, relishing every chance to put her brother through the ringer. But Chris wasn't about to let his sis stomp all over him. So, what went down? Well,
I can't do this anymore.
Well, you should have thought of that before you stole money out of Mom's purse. I own you. Now,
I'm gonna run away and no one will ever see me again!
good, go!
and up to this point, you might be thinking, it's just sibling rivalry. But Chris vanishing from the home for a while had Meg worried. She realized she kinda went too far. If she only knew where her brother had gone to seek refuge, whew, she'd be sweating big time.
I ran away from home. Do you mind if I live with you?
Live with me? My goodness.
Number 8. She recorded a sex tape to get expelled from school.
Oh, fudge.
Only I didn't say fudge. I said
Us fans of the show know that Meg is like the living embodiment of a welcome mat, where every character just wipes their dirty feet. It ain't just her own family treating her like the resident black sheep. Even her classmates are in on it. And that includes the new schoolyard thug.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry!
What's your name, dude?
Meg Griffin!
3 o'clock, Friday. I will destroy you.
Let's face it, if you threw a Kit Kat at Meg, she still couldn't catch a break. So it was only a matter of time before she crossed paths with the new bully. He promised her a face-off after she accidentally sauce-bombed him in the school cafeteria, and Meg tried everything to avoid it, even resorting to some wild moves.
All I have to do is get expelled. That sex tape I released should be everywhere by now. Ugh, come on, really?
If you think about it, among all the options she had for getting expelled, sharing a saucy video was probably the most twisted one. Although she probably had other options that could have served her purposes and self-esteem better.
You know what? Good for her.
Number 7. She had a road rage meltdown.
Holy crap, that's awesome! Where is he?
She's right here, Peter.
Meg?
Yeah, Dad. I don't mind driving you around till you get your license back.
What?
Let's be real. Most of the times Meg's erupted in a fit of rage on this show, it's probably because of the mistreatment and relentless teasing from her own family, especially Peter. And this time was no different, although maybe she took it up a notch.
You left your apple juice at home.
I want apple juice!
You want to watch SpongeBob?
Yes. With apple juice.
When they took Peter's license, Meg was suddenly on duty as her father's personal chauffeur. Things started out fine, but it didn't take long for Peter's toxic behavior, along with his buddies, to get under Meg's skin.
What the hell is your problem, you dumb bimbo? Oh, God, stop!
True to form, Meg blew her top once again, unleashing her inner beast. Although this time her wrath landed on an innocent bystander, who was merely caught in the crossfire, leaving the real troublemakers unscathed. Maybe after this, Peter learned to cut Meg some slack.
Meg, that was awesome!
Number 6. She used repulsive tactics to win a fight.
Sounds like you have a pretty big problem, Meg.
Huh? Mr. Quagmire? What are you doing in here?
This is my base of operations.
The bully, so after his promise to serve her a beatdown, Meg had a brilliant idea. She turned to none other than Quahog's quirkiest neighbor.
Giggity.
Yeah, you know who we're talking about.
You're grosser, and you're gonna use that. Your weird body can be a dangerous weapon if used properly.
As the worldly wise guy he is, Quagmire's had some prior experience in these situations, and he managed to convince Meg to unleash her true inner potential as a winning strategy for the showdown. Now, you might be wondering, what's her true potential all about?
You'd be surprised what my face can do to you!
Yeah, she didn't hesitate to let her true grossness shine right in front of that whole school, all in the name of victory and teaching that new bully a memorable lesson. Let's hope he learned that messing with our Meg doesn't come without its consequences. Number 5. She publicly shamed Brian for being an atheist.
So you feel better, Meg?
All better, Mom. I was made well by the hand of God. This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it.
Meg, what are you talking about?
Now, Meg's rap sheet is longer than her list of good deeds. Maybe even more than she's had thrown at her. A big chunk of her shenanigans usually involves violence, and it's clear that Meg has a wild side that she's been holding back. However, this time was different. It was all about pure intolerance.
Brian, you're a thoughtful person. Are you willing to open yourself up to God's truth?
Oh, you're barking up the wrong tree, Meg. I'm an atheist.
What's that?
You see, Meg was going through a super intense religious phase, and when she discovered that her dog, Brian, not only didn't buy into her faith, but was a card-carrying atheist, she couldn't take it. She only saw one way to deal with it.
Junior Christian soldier Meg Griffin has identified the atheist as Brian Griffin.
How the hell could you do something like this?
If a man hath ears, let him hear, Brian.
In a conservative town like Quahog, making Brian's atheism public knowledge was like opening the gates of hell. And it was all thanks to Meg, who just couldn't stomach the thought of someone not buying into her beliefs.
Well, this is nothing. Probably just a random act of violence. I thought only he without sin could cast the first Prius.
Ha!
Number 4. She became a feisty ex-convict.
I'm home. You're all my b****s now.
Okay.
After that little vacay in the big house, and another one of Meg's all-time greatest hits. As we witnessed in this video, Meg strolled back home, let's say, upgraded. Her newfound vibe didn't take long to give that whole family a case of the heebie-jeebies.
Who's the biggest, toughest guy in this house?
Well, I don't like to toot my own horn, but I believe I hold the distinction of...
We all sort of know prison's a rough place, but who could have guessed Meg would come out as this whole new kind of scary person? Maybe she was making up for all the years she was stepped on.
It's my poop bucket.
What the hell?
I'm used to going to the bathroom in my room.
Are you using my shirts as toilet paper?
Yeah, and I think I might need some right now.
Some might argue that her time behind bars did her some good, because she finally figured out how to make people take her seriously. Others may say that her new vision is a bit over the top and way too feisty. Any way you look at it, it's hands down one of the worst things she's ever pulled off.
Are you gonna take those soda cans to the Shaw Skank Redemption Center?
Number 3. She tried to roofie Chris.
There he is. The reason my bedpost is so shiny.
We've had it drilled into our heads that Meg isn't exactly the school's poster child for popularity. In fact, let's call a spade a spade. She's the complete opposite. So, when one of the kids actually agreed to go on a date with her, we couldn't help but smell something fishy.
I'm sorry, Meg. I think you're great, and I love hanging out with you. But there's something you should know. I'm gay.
You are?
As it turns out, Meg's date wasn't what it seemed, and her suitor was actually gay. But wait, there's more. He even spilled the beans that he had a crush on her brother, Chris. Naturally, Meg didn't exactly ace that situation.
Hi, Mr. Quagmire.
What can I do for you?
I was wondering if I could borrow some roofies?
Oh, sure. Just a sec.
When Meg noticed her shot with Kent fading into the horizon, she reached out to Quagmire for a hand and made one of the most eyebrow-raising, cringe-worthy decisions of her life. She drugged Chris and tricked Kent into having sex with him. Oh yeah, this gets a prime spot in the highlight reel.
Hi, I didn't realize you'd be awake.
What?
Well, Meg said you'd be asleep, but it's fine. I can work with this.
Oh, hell no!
Number 2. She tried to harass Brian.
So, Meg, how was school?
It's no secret that Meg's basically the school's underdog. So it wasn't a shocker that nobody was lining up to be her date. What did surprise everyone, though, was Brian reluctantly stepping up to the plate. Let's face it, he didn't have much of a choice.
Brian, will you go with me?
Are you gonna kill yourself if I don't?
Yeah!
Well, then my hands are pretty much tied.
The real mind-bender was when Brian defended her against the mean girls, being the loyal watchdog he is. And like it often goes, one thing led to another and bam, before you can blink an eye.
No one's ever stood up for me like that.
Hey, no problem.
Thanks, Brian.
A few moments later.
Sorry, that was the booze, not you.
Now, if you thought that was wild, hold on to your butts, cause Brian's nightmare had only just begun. Ooh, we know how dark and twisted she gets when she puts her mind to it. And tormenting her own dog, hands down, is one of the nastiest things she's pulled on this show.
We're gonna have fun tonight. Good, old-fashioned, all-American fun.
And number 1, she hooked up with Chris.
Do you think we'll get to make out?
These things always end up in makeout sessions.
So we're gonna say it again like we said it a million times. She ain't the poster child for beauty, charisma, or, well, you know what's up. However, she was banking on Halloween night to be the ultimate game changer, where her chances of getting lucky would skyrocket.
We are so gonna hook up! I think we look hot. Totally hot.
Ugly bitches!
Moo!
All pumped and stoked for her first high school Halloween shindig, Meg was on a mission to bag some serious laughs, courtesy of the superpower known as her costume's anonymity. And guess what? She nailed it. But you know the drill. There's always a but in this crazy show.
Oh my God.
A few moments later.
Oh my God, what are you doing here?
Yep, folks, that actually happened. And I like to think we're all on the same page when it comes to considering hooking up with your own brother, even if it was in disguise and in the shadows worthy of a spot on this list, am I right?
Why do you and Meg smell like sweat and shame?
Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and like the video for more Family Guy content. Go ahead and check out Family Guy 10 Times Lois Went Too Far, shown on your screen right now.
You're gonna have a great time.